Finally, a new video. I'm so sorry it's been so long, but I've been busy doing a bunch of exciting stuff behind the scenes, which you guys will see soon. One of those things is planning so many amazing trips for next summer, and I'm going to be sharing how I booked them all and how I plan my trips in some upcoming videos. But for now, this is a dilemma I am faced with quite often when flying over the Atlantic. The European airlines that have by far the best schedules and most frequent flights are Lufthansa and British Airways between Europe and the US. The only problem is that their business classes are really below par, and essentially they're quite a lot worse than the US carriers. So I thought it would be interesting to compare Lufthansa and British Airways business class, both which have become quite infamous for being less than desirable. So if you have the choice between both of them, which should you fly? Lufthansa business class or British Airways business class? I hate to make negative videos like this bashing airlines, but since most other flight reviewers seem content giving airlines empty praise just to get free flights, you're gonna have to get it from someone, and I'm happy to be the person to give you the honest truth about what the experiences are like on these airlines and not be afraid to share my honest experience. So starting with seating, it makes sense to have a quick look at the seat maps. Lufthansa's business class is in a 2-2 configuration on the upper deck of the 747 or a 2-3-2 configuration on the lower deck. While most airlines have 1-2-1 configurations nowadays, Lufthansa remains committed to this layout for at least another 2 years. British Airways has the same 2-2 configuration on the upper deck, which you can see to the right here, and a 2-4-2 configuration on the lower deck, which is incredibly dense. What makes seating on British Airways even more ridiculous is that they charge for seat selection in business class, more than $100 each way on most long-haul flights. Meanwhile, it's completely free on Lufthansa. Looking more closely at the window seats in each configuration. On British Airways, you step over the person in the row behind you to get into your seat. What's good about this design is that you get an incredible amount of privacy when the privacy partition is up. The tray table also swivels back and forth, there's an ottoman that can be lowered up ahead, and the video monitor is quite easily visible. However, if you're not on the A380, your only storage option is the storage compartment below your feet. When the seat is in bed mode, it's impossible to access this, so there's really nowhere to place your personal items. Meanwhile, on Lufthansa, the design is more standard and all seats are forward-facing. You also aren't facing a stranger during takeoff and landing, which can be quite awkward on British Airways. However, here no passenger has direct aisle access either, and the seats are quite narrow, as you can tell. There's a small storage compartment at the base of the seat, and you can store a few little things on the armrest, but other than that, there's really no space here either. In this seat, you can also see pretty much everyone else in the cabin, so don't expect to have any privacy wherever you're sitting. British Airways was the first airline to introduce lie-flat seats back in the 90s. When they introduced them, it was a huge deal, but since then, they haven't updated their seats much. On British Airways, if you're in the window seat, although the bed is quite lumpy, you do have a great amount of privacy, the bedding is quite good, and I slept very nicely on my flight. Meanwhile, on Lufthansa, you'll also sleep quite well, although I found the cabins on most of my flights with them to be incredibly hot, so you might want to bring a personal fan or wear light clothes when you're gonna sleep, because it's gonna get steamy. This will be a comparison of the vegetarian meals on Lufthansa and British Airways. On one British Airways Club Europe flight I took, I actually got decent food, but on my long haul flight, which is where it counts, they forgot to load my second meal. The first meal was terribly presented, and overall I was so disappointed by the food quality. Meanwhile, Lufthansa served potatoes with tofu, and again the presentation was quite abysmal for business class. Overall, Lufthansa's catering was quite good, far better than British Airways, but it still wasn't world class, especially not 5-star. British Airways sometimes has good service, but unfortunately I feel like many of their staff have just given up on the airline at this point. I commend the ones who do make the extra effort to please passengers, but overall the service on my flights with them has just been completely unmemorable, if not bad. Lufthansa consistently has some of the best service in the sky in my experience, and my business class flights with them have been no exception. Their service is always top-notch, and I truly admire their flight attendants. On an unrelated note, as you can see in this shot, these seats really are a tight fit for 2 people. British Airways business class amenities come in what looks like a shoe bag. Although the contents inside it are decent, it's well stocked with pens, socks, eye shades, and things like that. At the same time, Lufthansa has a beautiful Samsonite amenity kit with most of the items you'll need for a flight this long. Both airlines have acceptable entertainment systems, but what sets Lufthansa apart is that they offer Wi-Fi on their entire long-haul fleet, and it's very reasonably priced. Meanwhile, British Airways has just started installing it, but it will be years before they offer it, and that's a big drawback to me as someone who likes to work online during my flights. So, which airline would I choose for my next transatlantic flight if I was forced to choose between these two? For me, privacy is key and I really value it, so although many aspects of British Airways are worse than on Lufthansa, I would probably choose them if I could get a window seat, and at least anyone with One World status can pre-select them for free, so that makes it worth it to me. However, if you want better service, better amenities, and an overall much better experience, I would go to Lufthansa. Luckily, there are plenty of competitors, so you don't have to choose any of these airlines. There are better options that you can find by watching some of my other reviews and comparing experiences. I also have reviews of some transatlantic flights that I really enjoyed coming up soon. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, but please stay for another couple of minutes because I have an exciting announcement. In the description below, you'll find a questionnaire which I will be using to help rebrand my channel. The time has come at 100 and something thousand subscribers for my channel to evolve and for my channel name to become more personal. Of course, I also want to optimize my content, so by helping me fill this out, it should only take a couple of minutes. You are really making a difference for the future of the channel. You know that my goal is to inspire and show that anyone, even me as a 20-year-old college student, can travel around the world. I take over 100 flights a year, and I'm so grateful that I've found ways to be able to sustain this without an income that's greater than most people with full-time jobs. As you know, I've been sharing techniques and secrets for how I do this, but I really need to know what you guys value and what you want to see more of on my channel. So by taking a few minutes to just do this, I will be so grateful. Keep in mind that I'm looking for criticism and negative thoughts in this survey so I know how to improve and what to change. So the more constructive criticism you give me, the better. This is also a great opportunity for me to tell you guys about my new policy that I hinted at in the beginning of the video. This has already been in place for several months. I just realized that I've never actually said it on YouTube, only on Instagram. So I want to make you guys aware that I am no longer, since 2018, accepting any type of unfair relationship with airlines. This includes me accepting free flights, discounts, upgrades, anything like that. From now on, everything is funded by me in the interest of being absolutely unbiased in my reviews, and I'm glad to say that I am the first aviation YouTube channel of this scale to have such a policy and be fully transparent about how I pay for my flights. You can see in the description of all of my videos how much I paid and whether it was with miles or cash. I'm really excited to see what the future holds, and of course how all my flights this summer will be. I can't wait to share the flight list with you because I've booked some of the most insane trips that I never thought I could manage by myself, but if there's a will, there's a way. Until I see you all next time, fly safe.